Right, ladies, so I'm just going to get started. There's going to be a couple of us coming on this evening just to give you some guidance more around the area of recruitment. So, as you'll probably have guessed by now, where the money is and where the progression is with Forever is to basically by building your team. So you want to build a team which duplicates very quickly. So it's important that you know how to recruit, so that when you get your own team member, you feel confident and competent enough to kind of tell them how to do exactly the same as what you're doing. So, the first thing that you need to really do is to think about who you know. And a lot of people miss this step out because they think, oh, it's not really important. I'll just blag it. I'll go on Facebook and I'll just speak to whoever pops up. But what you run the risk of doing when you do that is feeling quite stressed or worried that you're going to run out of people. So every major company and organization in business has a database, and this is basically our database. Now, what I tend to try and do is to add to at least 2 people to my list every single day. You can actually download your Facebook friends list, but don't just download it and leave it. Actually take the time to write it out. Because when you write it out, it sometimes jogs your memory of other people associated with that person and so on and so forth. So just try that, because sometimes that's really, really helpful. Now, I do apologise about these slides. I just stole them off Derby Diamond week 2, because I haven't actually had time to put some together. But it basically covers what we're wanting to do tonight. So let me just move that. Right, so you've got a memory jogger inside of your First Steps to Manager book, but if you feel like you've exhausted all of the resources of who you know, there's 2 things you can do to broaden that. So what I'd all like you to do is, if you've got a pen and a paper to hand, and I'll do the same as you're doing it, I'd like you all to write down just one name of whoever pops into your mind first. Now, from that name, I just want you to think of who's friends with that person. So every single friend you can think of who's friends with that person, write those down too. Once you've done that, if you think about who's relatives with the person, and then if you write down who's got the same or similar occupation. So if they're a nurse, think of all people in NHS, think of dentists, think of physiotherapists, then you might think of beauticians and so on and so forth. Then think about the geography of the person. So where do they live, or who lives in a similar place, or who lives in a place beginning with the same letter. And then the last thing to think about is, who does the person have the same name as? So do you know anyone with the same name? So mine was Nicola, so yes, I do. Or do you know anyone with a similar name to that? So by doing that, you should have got yourself a couple of more names. So I got 10, which is pretty good. So it just shows that if you do have a really good who do you know list, then you will basically never feel worried. You'll never feel like you're going to run out of people to speak to. And what you've got to remember is, the world's a massive place. We're UK based, but we're global. So don't be afraid to ask other people if they have relatives abroad or if they know other people too. So your list should never ever run out. So we've done that. So this is basically your business cycle, okay? So as you can majorly see in the Forever Business Cycle, your reason why is in the centre of it. So you've got to be really connected to your reason why, because while you go around this business cycle, you will come across negativity. It just goes without saying. You will have people who go, not forever, or is it a pyramid, or all the usual things that you know that you get spoken to about. So the reason why you've got to have such a powerful why is because that is going to act like a force field. It's going to bounce all of that negativity back away from you, so that you keep going around the cycle as many times as you want. All you've got to remember is, all these skeptical people, okay, they don't pay your bills. So they don't get you to where you want to be. They don't really actually matter, because it's actually shown that only an average of 10 people cry at your funeral, believe it or not. So once I'd learned that statistic, I was like, God, I don't even care. Like, I really couldn't care about the outcome of what I'm doing. I just want to get to where I want to be. And obviously I do care about people, but I just basically knew what I had to do, so I did it. Now, think of this business cycle like an aeroplane wheel, okay? So an aeroplane wheel needs to go around super, super quick. The quicker it goes, the quicker the plane gets off the ground. Think of your business the same. The quicker you go around this cycle, the quicker your business will get off the ground and the quicker you'll get to the goals that you want to achieve. Because once you've set goals, okay, you've written down what you want, you've got a vision of what you want. If you don't then act upon it, so if you don't implement action, then you'll not get to your goal, because sitting in your room over Facebook won't actually help you achieve your goal. You have to be talking to people. So the first stage of your business cycle is who do you know? So we've just gone through that bit. The second step is how to contact. So what I'm going to do is bring on Hayley, and Hayley's going to talk you through how to contact people who you actually know already. So I'm just going to unmute her now, and then she's going to talk you through that in just a tick. So let's find her. There we go. So can you hear us, Hayley? Hello?
Hi, can you hear me, Kate?
Yeah, I can hear you. Fab.
Fab. This is the first time I've used my iPad tonight, so I didn't know if you would be able to hear us or not.
I can, perfectly.
Brilliant.
So I'll just
Hi, everybody.
Ooh. Right, there you go, hon.
I'll wait till you finish. Thank you. Okay. So hi, everybody. It's my pleasure to take you through some recruitment tips that I've gathered over the last couple of months of working in Forever. So when I first started working for Forever, I was like an excited puppy, like maybe a lot of people have tell you. So Kate came to my house one day. I wasn't expecting to take part. I just wanted a discount for a product, to be honest. But I am open, and I'm not a skeptical person generally. So when she came round and she showed me the business, I was just on it like a car bonnet. I just could not turn away from this opportunity. But I didn't really think it through. I didn't do what your average person does, which is then go off and research it and look at all the pros and cons. I don't do things like that generally. So she left the house and I didn't think anything more of it. And then I was talking to the husband on the night and just like saying, oh, this person will be good. Oh, this person will be really good. Oh, I might contact this person. But I didn't know enough about the business. So for my first few contacts, I actually use the message that is in the team file. So it's what Kate's put on the screen there. So it's like you're just asking how that person is, and then you're just letting them know that you've maybe started your own business that you'd like to share with them. And I use that for the first maybe week or two. Obviously, I tailor-made it to the person I was talking to. So I used to maybe go on their Facebook page first, have a look at what they've been doing the last couple of weeks. Maybe they just had a holiday, maybe somebody been poorly in the family or something like that. And I used to always tailor-make the beginning part of the message to that person. I also used to look for signs on Facebook. So one of my team will tell you that I actually got her in the business because she had the Sunday night blues. So I really believe in just keeping an eye on your Facebook page and keeping a tab on your friends and what they're up to. And if somebody puts something on that's a little bit down in the dumps, remember it, and maybe in a couple of days' time when they're back up a little bit, to then get in contact. So I've just contacted somebody the other day, and at the weekend her children were both in A&E, just very minor, but I thought I'm going to message her because over the last couple of weeks she's been complaining about being on a minimum wage job. So I didn't use this format that's on screen because now I've slightly moved away from it, and what I do now is I just generally start a conversation about a status or about how long has it been since we've caught up and stuff like that, and maybe try and get something together. So with this girl that I've just messaged, I just checked to see if the kids were okay from the hospital visit. And she after me, she was asking how Adam was, because she's not seen me since I had Toby. That's how long it's been, because Toby's it's 2.5. So we just had a little bit of a catch up. I found out she still enjoyed her job, which she said she does. It's a very rewarding job that she does, but she's devastated that it's just the minimum wage and that she just survives really on her wages. So then I went into Kate's advice from a couple of days ago, where she suggested. I think she put a post on with screenshots, and I used some of her tips on that. And I just said that my job is to help people like her increase their family income. And she was really interested, wanted to know more. And then obviously I tailor made the link to her. So she's a mum of three. So I sent her Natalie Healy, and she's really excited. So we're getting together soon. But I just think, just to touch on what Kate said about the who do you know list, I was also, because I'd gotten in so rash to the business, I did just flimsy about with, oh, well, they're in my head, it's okay. But I did actually, a week or two later, sit down and write it out. And then I went into the secondary list of who do I know, because I know that person. So my list grew from the Facebook list initially. I also, like Kate's just mentioned, I do add to it. So yesterday I went to a child's birthday party, the Joy, and I was chatting to two women that I had never met. All of our children were the same age, so we were just chatting about the terrible twos and things like that. And we added each other on Facebook, and we had a really good time. So, I've messaged them since. Nothing about the business, just messaged them saying it was nice to see them, really nice to chat to them. Their little boy was lovely, blah blah blah. And then just maybe found some common ground to start a conversation. But I'll not mention the business like tomorrow either. I'll message them in a couple of weeks' time, or I'll keep an eye on their Facebook for when they may be having a bit of a bad day, or they'll post something that'll give me a bit of a clue. So I do believe in fate, and things happen for a reason, and looking for signs. So do the same with your friends. And just to touch on what was mentioned at the webinar, if anybody missed it at the weekend, at the weekend with Zoe and Kate, one of my team members, Nikki Anderson, came on. She was talking about contacting men. Now, I had not done this previously. It was one of my comfort zone issues. But since Nikki's inspirational little debut webinar, well done, Nikki, that's all I've done this week. I just thought, no, I'm going to do it. So I have contacted quite a few men, and had really good feedback. And I never even thought about their girlfriends or sisters or something like that. So I'm getting some good recommendations from contacting those men. So please, please don't avoid talking to men. I'm actually having a one-to-one tomorrow with a guy who already is thinking about starting Juice Plus. So I'm hoping to reel him into the Forever family and get him on the sports aspect of it, and his wife on the skincare, because I know her too. So I'm really excited about that. But also what Nikki also mentioned at the weekend was using the buzz, and I can't relay that any strongly than what Nikki did, because it is amazing when you have that buzz that you've signed somebody, or you've made a sale. Use that buzz to then contact somebody that you've been maybe thinking about for a couple of days, because that will make your business just grow and grow and grow. And another thing that I love about this business is that I'm just getting a little bit more confident talking to people, like in the schoolyard. Like, maybe I've said hi to some mums, but I've not then gone into a conversation with them. This business has given me the confidence to then maybe start up general conversations, and I'm developing friendships that I know will, potentially resolve around a recruiter, me helping that person earn that income. Because all I hear in the schoolyard, I don't know about everybody else, is just moaning about Christmas coming up and not having enough money, and just people are just starting to worry about that. And I just think, well, we've got the perfect opportunity for people to get out of those situations. So yeah, Kate, that's everything from me.
Okay, cool. That was
So I don't know if you want to pass that on to Claire now.
right, amazing. Thanks so much. They were really good tips. So I hope everyone's
Thanks, son.
taking some notes. Right. So basically, what I did while Hayley was speaking, I know that I brought Facebook up in the background, and she probably thought, what's she doing? Just chatting to people, but I wasn't. I was bringing this up because this document, honestly, I created this document for everybody to follow. So it's so simple, as it says, simple guide. So when Hayley said that she initially contacted people through saying like, hi, how are you, to build rapport again and stuff, and then mentioned the business, she said that she did that for the first couple of weeks, which is what I suggest as well. Once you've been in the business for a little bit longer, okay, what you really want to do is develop really good friendships. So what you don't want to do is ball in there and go, by the way, I've got really good business, if you've not spoken to the person in about a year and a half or something, because that's going to look a bit weird. And also, you don't want to be seen as being like everyone else out there. So yes, there is some people doing forever, but you don't want to be like everyone else. You want to be head and shoulders above the rest. You want to be known for talking to people, not just about the business. You want to be known to be talking to people in general. So basically, we have a couple of different templates that really help. So you'll have noticed the one that I put on the team page the other day, which was basically saying like, hi, how are you? I look like, are you a makeup artist? Do you do that professionally? And it's building rapport with the person. So this is kind of a way to do it without knowing the person as such. So what I would say is, if you don't know the person, go on their Facebook page, find out what it is that they do, what they like doing, scroll through their photos, see where they've travelled, just find one little thing that you can bring up with that person. For example, if I saw someone had been to Dubai, I would just message them and say, hi, lovely, how are you? I've seen that recently you've been to Dubai. Did you enjoy it? What was it like? Is there anywhere that you recommend going? Because I've thought about travelling there myself in the future. And if that brings up a conversation, you can then start getting into things like, what do you do for work? And it's all about open-ended questions. So you're not being nosy asking these, you're actually showing someone that you care, because it's proven that us as human beings, we love talking about ourselves. So the more open-ended questions you do, the better that is. So, for example, I now don't use a script, never ever will. I always just use back and forward questioning. And yes, that does take a little bit longer to build rapport with people sometimes, but I can promise you, you get much better responses from that, because people actually buy into you. They think that you're a really nice person, they think that you're really confident, they think that you know exactly what you're doing. And the more that you do that and show that, people will want to follow you as well. So please do look at this document, because it really does help you to understand what to send and when. So give me 2 seconds and I'll just bring up the slides that we were using before. So like it says, keep it simple, okay? Don't put anything in your Facebook message like, if there's, like, for example, don't put like Forever Living, multi-billion-pound company based around aloe vera, I'm in health and well-being, I'm looking for extra people, because honestly, you can't explain what Forever is in a nutshell. You have to send them over quite a few bits of information. So don't try and overexcite yourself and send them the world before they've even committed to having a little look, if that makes sense. Right, so what I would do is send the initial contact and message, all right, which is what we've just gone through there. Tailor make it to the person, which is really important, okay? And what you want to do in between here, where it says contact, okay, let's say, for example, they've agreed that they would like some more information, okay? What you would then do is say, right, great. It's really hard for me to explain what I do over a Facebook message. But if you're open to it, I'd love to share some more information with you. And I can do that by sending over a really quick link for you to watch. If they say, yeah, that sounds good, you then say to them, brilliant. If I send the link over for you now, when do you think you'd be able to watch it by? By doing that, you're using GoPro language, and GoPro language basically is going to confirm another appointment with that person without them realising that's what you're doing. Because you don't want to send a link over and then have to chase someone up by saying, have you watched it yet? When do you think you'll watch it? Have you watched it? Because then that turns from you helping somebody out and offering them a business opportunity. What that really then turns into is you pressurizing the person and selling a business to them, which is not what we're about at all. So what you want to do is be really relaxed all through the process of this. So when you've sent over the video, okay, obviously write down when it is that you're going to contact them in your diary. And then when you've done that, contact them exactly when you said you were going to, and just be really positive. Ask them how their week's gone. If they've told you information on the previous chat, mention that to build more rapport. So, for example, did you go out for food? Yeah, brilliant. Was it good? Where did you go? Whatever. So that really helps. Now, in between here, where it says contact and show, there's a stage that we use called the 5-minute phone call. Okay, so the 5-minute phone call is this. All right. So your 5-minute phone call is just so that they can, number one, hear your tone of voice, hear your excitement, but also that it's a real person that's offering them this opportunity. Because so far, what you've probably been doing is messaging them over Facebook, which is quite impersonal, to be honest. And people really like the touch of you basically speaking to them. So by doing this, what you're going to do is reconfirm that person's what we call hot buttons. Now, hot buttons, all right, are basically things that people are looking for that we can help them with this business. So when you've sent them a message saying, what did you, when you've sent the link over and you catch up with them in the diary, all right, and you say to them, right, okay, how was your meal? What did you like best about the link that I sent over for you? Okay, don't say what interested you. Don't use that kind of language. Always say, what did you like best? Because they'll tell you what they liked, and that is their hot button. So during the 5-minute phone call, what you want to do again is to reiterate that hot button that they told you. So, for example, if it was that they want more flexibility around their kids, if that's what they've told you, write it down. And during the 5-minute phone call, then basically what you can do is you can say, like, what do you like about your life now? And they'll tell you, what don't you like? And if they still say, I need flexibility around my kids, but my job at the minute doesn't give me that, then you know when you come to the closing bit further down here, then that's what you'll really focus that closing sentence around. All right. So again, lots of open-ended questions, and you can actually use these during the point of speaking to someone when you contact market as well. It's pretty helpful. But basically, what you want to try and do is be quite busy when you're doing this phone call. So for example, you might be hanging the washing out, so mention that you're hanging the washing out. You might be bathing your baby, so mention that you're bathing your baby, because you want people to realise that this is a really flexible business. So when they hear that you're bathing your child while speaking to them on the phone, they can relate to that and they'll go, oh my God, that's brilliant. Like, I could do that as well. So when you close the 5-minute phone call, you want to say this. So say, for example, Kate, if I said to you, from what you've told me, that you need more flexibility around your children, what if I could show you a way to achieve that? You wouldn't need any experience or qualifications. I would teach you, guide you, and coach you every step of the way to achieve £2,000 a month, like you said you want, but at the same time would have loads of fun. What would you say to that? Of course, they're going to say yes, because you've used their hot buttons, all right? And basically, you've also reconfirmed their income that they would like, you've reconfirmed the hot buttons, and you've basically built rapport at the same time. So that's basically that. And then what you say at the end of the call is, great. So I'm actually going to send over for you a 20-minute video, which will explain the business a lot more. When do you think you'd be able to watch it by, just so I know when's good to catch up with you again? Okay? And so on and so on. So you've got all of the steps down here, so I'm not going to go through that. What I'm actually going to go through now is how to overcome objections, because this is the thing that people basically are struggling with or find the hardest. And this is what I found the hardest when I first started. But it's practice makes perfect. So the only reason I've learned how to overcome these is because a lot of people have given me them. But you know that you're doing your job if you're getting no's, and you know you're doing your job if you're getting objections, okay? So don't be frightened of them, embrace them. Okay, so when someone asks you, what is it? All right, the easiest thing to write back to that person is, it's really hard to explain over a Facebook message, and I just wouldn't do it justice, or it's very unique and quite visual. But I could send you a little 10-minute link across so you can get a better understanding of it, and you can see if it's something that you're interested in or not. Yeah. Then you say, that's great, I'll send the link over. When do you think you'll watch it by? Yeah. Now, if someone says to you an objection such as, okay, I don't think I've got enough time for this because I'm really busy. I'm a working mum. I work full time. I've got a house to run, and my kids all do after club activities and stuff like that. Don't just take that as a no. Just don't go, all right then, that's fine. You've not got enough time. No problem. Bye. What you need to be like is you need to say, you need to use the word feel, felt, found. All right. So you need to say something like, I know exactly how you feel. I felt exactly the same because when I started, I was working 80 hours a week in my current job. However, what I found was I could really fit this into really small pockets of time because I had the control over the hours that I worked. When I made the hours that I work focused, I totally got the results that I wanted, which actually gave me more income, which has now allowed me to leave work. So I've got all the time in the world on my hands. If you're open to it, I'd love to share some more information with you. Yeah. So it's just about using stories. So you can use my story. Or, for example, you could say, I totally know how you feel. My friend Hayley is a mum of two. She basically doesn't have a large amount of time either. But when she does her business, she works it really flexibly around her children. Because when she's at after school clubs or if she takes them out to football on a weekend, she's networking with the mums. And that's how she fits it into her lifestyle. So if you're open to it, I'd love to share some more information with you about how that would work for you too. Now, if it's something like pyramid, okay, how to handle someone who says, is it pyramid selling? What you basically would say is, don't go, of course it's not pyramid selling, and be really defensive, okay? All you need to do in that instance is say, that's interesting. What makes you say that? And what is your interpretation of a pyramid scheme? Because not a lot of people actually know what a pyramid is. And then you can actually say, well, we're not, but in a really unique way. So what you can say is, this is what I do. I go, what's your interpretation of a pyramid? And if they say, oh, it's basically where one person's loaded at the top and then you've got loads of little minions working underneath you for like barely any money. And I'll say, oh, right, I completely understand how you feel now. I kind of felt that way when I first started because that was my initial thoughts. However, what I found was Forever is part of Investors in People, and we've got a gold champion award in that. So if that was the case, we wouldn't be able to achieve that. Second of all, what we also don't do is we don't buy into a business and get no products as an exchange for that service. So we actually get 20 products for the money that we invest into the business. Third of all, we actually don't earn money off each other. We actually only earn money from the company's profit margins, and we're paid on the turnover of our businesses. We're paid a percentage of that. So if you're open to it, I'd love to share with you some more information, which will show you exactly why this isn't a pyramid scheme. Yeah. You might get another objection like, skin, I can't afford to buy the box. Usually, if that's the case, you've mentioned too much information about the business, okay? You need to get them off Facebook and onto the phone. Obviously now some more people do know that you do need to invest to join the business. But what I've actually started saying, which is what Emma Cooper says, you can't not afford to, because if you keep on doing what you're doing right now, how are things going to get better for you? How are you going to get the additional income that you've said that you need? Or like something along the lines of that anyway. So you could use feel, felt, found as well. Like, I completely understand how you feel. I felt exactly the same. I was so skinned. I put the rest of my 199.75, that was the last money that I had on my credit card. However, this now earns me multiple figure income each year. The company pay for my car. I get all inclusive travel each year, and I knew that if I didn't do something about what my life was like in the past, then I would be probably in exactly the same place right now. Yeah, so you just have to use your personal stories. I can't think of any more objections, but maybe we'll let some people post some up, like in the little question box. And if we haven't answered some of them, just let us know and we can go through them again. Right, so what I was just going to talk about, or get Claire to talk about if she's on, if I can find her. I was going to get Claire to come on and talk about, yeah, I found her, about following up. So I'm just going to unmute her now, and then if she can talk about how to follow up. So once you've sent the link, if someone's not writing back, or if someone's watching the link, and how you would follow up and make sure that you're talking to them properly about the business. So I've just found her. I'll unmute her. There you go.
Hi.
Hola.
You alright?
Yeah, you.
Yes, right. So basically my top tips on following up would be literally you have to start with your mindset. Like if you think in your mindset that you're going to be pestering that person because they've ignored you, you probably are. So it's better to just think like you're not pestering them, you're offering them that opportunity and you're trying to make them kind of understand. So quite a few people that I've messaged, they haven't just replied straight away. If they ignore me first initial message, I just send them another message, like maybe it's a couple of days later, saying, "Oh, hiya, are you all right?" That kind of thing. And then even if they still ignore us, then I've messaged them back saying like, "Hiya, totally understand the business is not for you, but I would love to share some of the products with you." And generally that does get a good response, and they're like, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I totally forgot to reply," because I know like myself. I can be pretty ignorant. I can write a message back in my head and then not actually send it. Everybody does have their own lives and they are really busy, so it's better to not think that way. You don't know what's going on in their lives personally themselves, so it's better to just sort of keep going. I mean, I know one of my really good team members, I actually messaged them about 5 times before they even replied to us. But you've just got to like sort of keep going and sort of think you are offering them an amazing opportunity, and like it's pretty bad on you if you don't want to help them, if that makes sense. That's all I do really, like sort of just make sure that I keep in touch with them. Then even if they're not like interested in the actual opportunity or even the products, I just make sure that I'm spending time sort of getting to know them, like asking them how they've been, maybe keeping a check on their Facebook profile, saying like, "Oh, I noticed you went here for a meal or something, or was it nice, did you have a nice time," that kind of thing. Just I think the best tip for me is probably just to be friendly kind of thing and like make it more natural. That's all really.
Amazing. Thank you, love. That's awesome. So
Thank you.
basically, the other thing that we just wanted to reiterate as well is remember about the Forever Yours business opportunity page. So what I tend to do is when I've sent them the message initially, and I'm sending them a message saying like, do you want to, if you're open to it, I'd love to share some more information with you. And if they say yes, I say, right, brilliant, I'll send you across a link. But what I'll also do is I'll add you on Forever Yours business, my Forever Yours business opportunity page, or my business opportunity page, where you can see the success of people that I've helped, or where you can see the success of people that I've spoken to and help change their lives. And by them getting on there, it takes on average a person 4 to 6 encounters before they'll actually sign up to the business. So that's why the business cycle works, because if you look, if you're going through the business cycle, okay, you've got one initial contact here, you've then got a second one at the show stage. So you've got the 5-minute phone call in between there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the business opportunity page 6. So that's why we've done that, because there's 6 steps, okay? So don't miss out a step if you can, because it really does help. Now, the more you go around this cycle, all right, the better. Once you've shown them the business, that's when you want to invite them along to a business presentation. Now, again, what tends to happen is someone will send the link, but then struggle to get someone to BP. Now, the reason for that is because you need to still use closed language. So you need to say, what are you doing on Tuesday? If they say nothing, be like, right, I'd love for you to come along to my business presentation as my guest. So when do you think you'd be able to meet me in the foyer? Like what time? It starts at 8 o'clock. So I'll be there from 7:30. It would be great if we could catch a coffee together beforehand. Does that sound good? Yeah. So use like your closed language again. Don't kind of go, "Oh, when are you coming to BP?" and then just stop speaking, because you need to get confirmation as like an appointment. all right? And then what I tend to do is I message the person, I'll be like, I can't wait to see you tonight at BP. I won't use the word BP, I'll use business presentation. But I won't message someone and go, are you still coming tonight? I just say, I can't wait to see you tonight, because that is quite closed language again. Now, the really important thing, all right, about when you've got them at BP and you are sitting there and you know exactly why they're sitting in the room, because you've spoken to them, you've found out their hot buttons, you've shown them the business, you've done the 5-minute phone call, all right? In your mindset, you need to think that person would not be here right now if they weren't interested, all right? So when the BP's finished, just keep quiet and wait for them to speak. Then if they do speak, all right, whatever they say, if they say, oh, that was great, start agreeing with them. Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? What did you like best about it? Now can you see how by working really closely with me under the umbrella of this amazing company, how we will help you achieve X, Y, and Z? They'll automatically, by now, either say yes or no, right? Because they've made their decision. If they say yes, say brilliant. Should we get you registered then? Literally, don't be scared of closing it, because they've taken all of the time to watch videos, to speak to you, to go through lots of processes with you. So they're either going to say yes or no, all right? Now, at this stage, if they say no, okay, say, oh, right, that's interesting. Like, can I just ask why? Don't be afraid to ask why they're not wanting to sign, all right? Because it might be that they don't have enough information still, or it could be that something's put them off. So they could say, I just think like it's not for me. And you can say, oh, why? Then they're going to have to give you reasons, and that gives you time to overcome the objection again, all right? So just always use your closed language. Don't be afraid of this. It's like what Claire said, it's all in the mindset. So if you get it out your mind that you're selling a business because you're 150% not doing that, what you need to do is think, okay, I'm offering this person such an amazing business opportunity. If I don't offer it to them, I'm letting myself down. I could potentially be detrimenting their future. And you could basically miss out on a diamond by thinking that. Now, the other thing that you've got to think as well, all right, is you've got to get out your head. No one wants to join your business, because guess what? You joined. So if you joined, other people are going to join too. So there's absolutely no point in thinking no one's going to join my business, or I'm worried that someone's going to say no. Because if they say no, what you've got to remember is they're saying no to Forever Living. They're not saying no to you. Okay? They're just saying no because it's not the right time. It's a no, not now. And the more no's you get through, that actually means you're doing your job. Okay, if you're not getting enough no's, you're not speaking to enough people. I get on average about 3 no's a day, and that's fine, because like I know that I'm speaking consistently and persistently to 5 people. So just always keep your consistency up. Obviously use the Forever Yours use the simple guide to signing people up or sharing our business opportunity or whatever it's called. And just if you've got any questions, like we're going to open it up now. So if you've got a question, flag your hand up and I'll unmute you and you can ask your question, and then we'll do our best to help answer that. If anyone's got any. Anyone got any? I don't think anyone's got any questions. If you do have any questions, post them on the team page and then we can answer them there. But what I was going to suggest is, if anyone does get an objection, right, such as, is it pyramid, or is it like Herbalife, or I don't think I've got time, what I want you to do is post it on the team page, and then as a whole team, we're going to help each other to overcome the objections so that all of you can screenshot them and use them for your own personal overcoming. So I think that'll be helpful. It's obviously nearly 1:45, so I said we'd only run till 1:45, so I hope that's been helpful. Thanks so much for logging in. If you've got any questions, please ask your upline. But well done for logging in and getting some more training, because that's what the successful people do. And I look forward to seeing your objections on screen so we can totally overcome them together. So thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.